And so this makes you ready to receive these 5 levels of sacred stewardship. Because if you get it, if you receive them from, but you wouldn't receive them, you would take them. If you take these from outside of alignment, out of order, you're outside of the kingdom, you're in Babylon, you're going to use this to pressure yourself, and it's not going to grow you from the inside out. It's going to be a false construct that you put on inside yourself and you start trying to perform. So it doesn't work that way. It would say it doesn't work that way. It would say it's an inside job. It would say, so I must step into divine order and holy alignment so I can prepare for my sacred assignment. All right. So there's a creed and an oath that we're about to go through that moves us from slaves in Babylon to miracle workers in the kingdom. We're about to shift jurisdictions. We're going to go from Babylon to slaves in Babylon to miracle workers in the kingdom. And so there's a creed, and then there's an oath that we're all going to speak out. So here's the miracle worker creed. We are miracle workers, not because we create miracles, but because we work in alignment with God and allow Him to move. It's important to know what this miracle work, because this is the distinction that sets the stage for you to receive what these actual levels are. So it's a growth from the inside out kind of thing instead of a false construct performance on the outside. This creed and then this oath is what sets the stage and shifts your identity and shifts your jurisdiction, okay? We believe money is neutral, but alignment is not. Money multiplies whenever spirit governs it. Money multiplies whatever spirit governs the money. We believe God is our source, not systems, strategies, or striving. Provision follows obedience, not anxiety. We reject Babylon's economy of fear, hustle, and scarcity. We will not trade peace for profit or success for surrender. We believe God funds assignments, not ego. Increase is a responsibility before it is a reward. We choose stewardship over striving, submission over control, trust over manipulation. We believe wealth must be governed, not worshipped, blessed before it is multiplied, consecrated before it is scaled. We commit to building what can be blessed. Businesses, families, and legacies that honor God and serve others. We believe provision follows alignment and miracles follow obedience. This is not manifestation. This is not hustle. This is not performance. This is miracle money. God's economy, God's way. So if you are in alignment with all of this, then we are going to read the miracle worker oath together. If you agree with this, I'll read it, and then if you agree, then you say it. I choose alignment over anxiety, obedience over outcome, trust over control. I release the belief that striving produces provision. I renounced fear-based work, hustle without peace, and success that costs my soul. I acknowledge that God is my source, not systems, not strategies, not my own effort. I commit to working in alignment with His will, knowing that miracles are not produced by force, but revealed through obedience. I do not claim to create miracles. I choose to create space for God to move. I accept the responsibility of stewardship to govern what I am given with humility, wisdom, and integrity. I will build what can be blessed. I will earn what can be entrusted. I will carry what can be multiplied. I understand that increase is not entitlement, it is assignment. From this moment forward, I choose to work differently for a different reason under a different authority. I step out of Babylon's economy and into God's. I am a miracle worker, a steward of God's economy, aligned in purpose, anchored in peace, and available for His work. Amen. And if you have said that oath, you are now prepared for the to receive the 5 levels of sacred stewardship. If you did not say the oath, I'm highly recommending that you click out now, because you'll still be outside, and it'll just be a surface level thing that it's not going to help you. It's going to make it worse for you. So make sure everybody said the oath. I'm going to give you just a moment in case you didn't read it, in case you didn't say it out loud. Let's all just do it together, just on the count of 3. Let's just read together on the count of 3 before we move forward. 1, 2, 3. I choose alignment over anxiety, obedience over outcome, trust over control. I release the belief that striving produces provision. I renounce fear-based work, hustle without peace, and success that costs my soul. I acknowledge that God is my source, not systems, not strategies, not my own effort. I commit to working in alignment with His will, knowing that miracles are not produced by force, but revealed through obedience. I do not claim to create miracles. I choose to create space for God to move. I accept the responsibility of stewardship, to govern what I am given with humility, wisdom, and integrity. I will build what can be blessed. I will earn what can be entrusted. I will carry what can be multiplied. I understand that increase is not entitlement, it is assignment. From this moment forward, I choose to work differently, for a different reason, under a different authority. I step out of Babylon's economy and into God's. I am a miracle worker, a steward of God's economy, aligned in purpose, anchored in peace, and available for His work. Amen. Come on, give yourselves a big round of applause. Congratulations, everyone. Welcome to the Miracle Money Movement. We are miracle workers. We steward wealth God's way. Everybody say that. We're miracle workers, and we steward wealth God's way. All right, let's do another poll before we move on to the next thing. So what do you most want to change in the next season? Less pressure and stress around money, clearer direction and confidence in decisions, or the ability to steward more without fear? Let's see where everybody is on this. Start poll. There you go. Everybody go ahead. Remember, your votes matter. Pick which one you want to change, most change in the next season. All right. So far, we got the ability to steward more without fear is in the lead. Clearer direction, confidence in second. Less pressure and stress around money is in third. Keep doing your votes. Your votes matter. Get back what you put in. Okay, I'm going to give it another 20 seconds. We're getting the second and third are tied up right now. All right, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Oh, it's still tied up. The second and third. So your vote matters. Let's see who's doing. Which one's gonna? Oh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Right at the very end, we got clear direction and confidence in decisions. Took the lead, 41%. Second was the ability to steward more without fear, was 37%. And then less pressure and stress around money was 20%. Cool. Great job, everybody. Thank you for participating in that. All right, nice. All right, who's ready to learn the 5 levels of sacred stewardship? Put a big giant yes in the chat. All right, so here we go. The 5 levels of sacred stewardship. Important, these levels are not status, they are scope. Increase equals responsibility, not glory. God gets all the glory. We get the responsibility, which is our ability to respond to reality. This framework exists to protect you. It keeps people from grabbing for more before they're ready to carry more, okay? You don't want to get yourself out there. You know, we're anointed, and then we go through it from a season of from the anointing to the season of disappointing before the season of appointing. Then we get appointed. And there's a purpose behind that. God's preparing us for our divine assignment. He's shaping us. He's molding us. He's turning us into vessels that can hold what He wants to pour into us. So this is about that. You can't rush your healing. You can't rush your journey. But you can do it the right way. So when you do get risen up, then it's not going to destroy you, and you're not going to destroy it, okay? So level 1 is called an initiated steward. So the focus is personal alignment, and the scope is yourself, your household, and your posture. So it's still really a lot. You're still just developing yourself, getting right in the garden, and then taking territory. So getting right in your mind, getting right in your own house, making sure you've got the right I am, making sure you're holding yourself correctly. So you're now, at the very least, you're an initiated steward now because of the oath that we just took. That's what brings you into this. I mean, you could have already made oaths and covenants with God and everything. You didn't have to do the oath that we just did in order to be initiated steward. But everyone who just did that oath, you have now entered into level 1. You've left Babylon. You are now initiated as a steward. And so you leave Babylon mentally. You learn obedience over outcome. You establish peace as signal. This is the exit ramp. You're learning to stop reacting and start stewarding. Okay? So that's level 1. Level 2, the faithful steward. Your focus is consistency and integrity. The scope is income, decisions, and boundaries. So now it's starting to be, it's not just about you're working on yourself. And there's a story that I tell about, there's this guy that comes out of his apartment every day, and he turns right to go to the, he goes goes left to go to the elevator. And then one day he's like, if I go right, I can go to the stairs and it'd be healthier for me. So I'm going to go try that. He does that, and then he times it, and it's also faster. It's faster and healthier to go down the stairs. So he's like, I have no reason to not go down the stairs. And so every day, he decided, I'm going to go down the stairs. So every day he walks out of his apartment, he turns left to go to the elevator. He's like, oh, wait a minute. I need to turn, and I need to go right to go to the elevator. And he does this every day for about 40 days. And then one day he walks out and he's carrying a bunch of boxes. And when he walks out, he turns right to go to the stairs, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. I got all these boxes. I probably need to go to the elevator. And he turns around and goes to the elevator. Can you see what happened on day 40? On day 40, he automatically turned right, and he had to tell himself to turn left. We're creatures of habit. We have 60,000 thoughts a day, 95% of them are the same ones we had yesterday. So he was transformed by the renewing of his mind. So level 2 is the faithful steward, because now it's about consistency and integrity, to where you're automatic. A faithful steward is your decisions are more automatically all submitted, yielded to God. Your decisions, your boundaries, everything is consecrated. Like that's your automatic space. You're not developing yourself anymore. You're pretty in alignment and full integrity and consistent with the direct obedience to God and being a steward with the resources that it gives you. Your income stabilizes without striving anymore. That's just who you are now. Your choices are led by peace. There's no more freaking out like, oh no, I don't worry about it, oh, but the bills and all. So that goes away. There's no more manipulation, no more panic, just peace. This is where the miracle money stops feeling like moments and it starts becoming your normal. You're not in a job, JLB, just over broke. You're not working for money anymore. You're working for God. Miracle money is just flowing through. Level 3 is the entrusted steward. The focus is your capacity. Your scope is teams and systems and influence. This is on a bigger thing. This is where it's like, this is bigger than just you and your family. This is on another level when you start to go into this. The resources flow through you, not just to you. Your stewardship is impacting others. You have humility and clarity. That's like the requirement. You have to be like, on a scale from 0 to 10 on humility, well, -10 to +10, -10 being anti-humility, +10 being humble like Jesus. Like you've got to be pretty high on the scale on humility to be an entrusted steward. And you have to have been such aligned, so aligned for so long, there's no more double-mindedness. There's no more questioning, like, where am I going? Who am I? You're centered in identity, You've got clarity. You got vision. Without vision, the people perish. You're not perishing because you got a vision, and you know where you're going. You know why you're going there. And this is sobering. It's not glamorous. It is weight. So, but oh, that sounds great. Well, yeah, it sounds great, but it's responsibility. Now, it's not a burden. When I'm talking weight, it's like an internal weight. It's a weight from the inside, like a pushing you out from. It's a pressure, but like from inside out. It's the well that's overflowing inside of you, and there's a weight to your words. There's a weight to your walk. There's a weight to your actions. Like, you know that there's consequences. There's big consequences. Many people are going to get impacted by all of your thoughts. Every thought that you think, every decision you make, there's a bigger weight to it. Not the fullest yet, but that's what you're thinking. It's the teams, the systems, the influence. That's what you're thinking about. It's all about growing your capacity. Level 4 is a governing steward. The focus is now jurisdiction. Your scope is communities, not just a family, but entire communities. You've got initiatives and capital. We're growing something big. It's like we're talking about like regional kind of things or national kind of things. The decisions are now affecting many, many people. Every single decision you make is affecting many, many people. You've got discernment over execution now. You're not, at this point, you've already developed yourself as someone who is great at getting things done, but now you're backing up, focusing, because there's effective versus efficient. Effective is doing the right thing. Efficient is doing things right. This is where you're focused on like the effectiveness. That's the 80-20 rule, the 20% that produces 80% of the results. You go from the 80-20 rule, you do it twice. So you do 20% of the 20%. So that's 4% produces 64% of the results. So you're highly effective and highly efficient, focused in on discerning what is the right action to take and the right way to take it and the right timing for it. That's more important. The discernment is much more important than the execution. You're not just like getting on the hamster wheel and running really fast, moving things around. You're moving things in divine timing, the right thing in the right order, in the right time. Your rest becomes visible because even with that, like there's more. You're more outside of the picture. You're more above it and kind of overseeing. You're more of an overseer at this point. Very few should want this, and fewer are ready. You got to be built for this because, like, if you try to do this on your will, it will pressure you. It will pop you. It will pop your heart. You'll get a heart attack. There's a lot of people that are doing this, but they weren't called to this. They're doing it because they think they're supposed to, because this is what success is, and they're building a false, Ishmael version of it. So, level 5 is the legacy steward. Now, everyone is supposed to leave an inheritance for their children's children. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a giant. We're talking about this is nations being birthed through you. So the focus is inheritance. The scope is generations and succession. It builds what outlives you. You transfer authority. You've got covering over credit. You don't care about. There's no desire for have any credit whatsoever. It's all about the covering of God. God is covering me. He is blessing many nations through me, birthing many nations through me. This is when money becomes a servant to generational obedience. This means your children's children's children, like not just your children, but like your children's generation. Your children's 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 generation is going to be influenced by the decisions that a legacy steward is making and the culture that they're developing. So that's the 5 levels. So let's go ahead and do a self-assessment question. We got another poll put up here. Which level describes your current stewardship? Honestly. Okay. Start the poll. Let's see where everyone is. All right. It should have just popped up. So go ahead, y'all. It's vote matters. Everybody go ahead and vote. Where are you at? Are you in pre-level, which Babylon, economy, uninitiated, Money, work, or certainty still function as my source. Provision feels urgent or fragile, and my decisions are often driven by fear, pressure, or survival, even if I love God. Level 1, you've been an initiated steward. I've consciously rejected Babylon's way of hustling and controlling. I'm learning to trust God as my source and practice obedience before outcomes, even though money can still feel reactive. Level 2, a faithful steward. My provision is becoming more stable and more peaceful. I make consistent decisions led by clarity instead of urgency. I'm building integrity without manipulation or panic. Level 3, entrusted steward. I'm trusted with responsibility that affects other people, teams, clients, communities. Resources flow through me, not just to me. I'm learning to carry weight with humility. Level 4, governing steward. My decisions impact systems, capital, or large initiatives. I'm trusted to discern, not just execute. I model rest, restraint, and clarity under pressure. And then level 5, legacy steward. I'm building for what will outlast me. My focus is inheritance, succession, and covering future generations with wealth, serving faithfulness, not identity. All right, I'm going to give it about 10 more seconds. Level 1. So this feels like a very accurate. Y'all are being very real and accurate right now because the majority of you are saying you're level 1. So great job. I'm going to give another 10 seconds. Your vote matters. Keep voting. We got 13% are saying they're already level 5. That's I'm humble enough to know that I don't know. That's possible that there are that many level 5s in here. But all right, looks like 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got level 1 is 42%. Level 2 is 20%. Level 1 or pre-level and level 3 are equal at 10%. Level 4 at 4%, and then level 5 11%. All right. Whoever put legacy level 5, go to Earthwaking or go shoot me an email at earthwaking@gmail.com and say, hey, I said I'm in level 5. I'd really like to have a conversation with you. So send me if you put level 5, send me an email earthwaking@gmail.com and say, hey, I was one of the people that said I was level 5. All right, so the gap. What keeps people stuck in the level? Common patterns: fear of ego, fear of messing it up. Notice fear. Unworthiness, perfectionism, self-monitoring and pressure, trying to be aligned enough before moving. Miracle money is not about being perfectly aligned. It is about walking faithfully while alignment deepens. Okay? So who's inspired about the miracle money conversation? Put a yes in the chat if you're inspired about all this and you are ready and willing to receive this payola. I can't even know how to say it. Sovereign. Did you say that you put level 5? Is that what you said? Are you saying that because if you're one, I know you ain't no level 5 yet. If you're one of those that put that, but all right, cool. Yeah, I got all these yeses. Thank you. All right, so. Who would appreciate help leveling up your sacred stewardship capacity in a safe, sovereign, kingdom-aligned container? Put a big giant yes in the chat if that is you. All right, nice. Who here would love to see the extraordinary opportunity of a lifetime that we created specifically for everyone who said yes to these questions? Put a big giant yes in the chat. Before I show you what's inside, I got to be clear on this. It's not for everyone. I've already filtered. I'm sure we filtered everybody well, but I want to say it one more time before I share this offer. There's a difference between wanting something and being ready to receive it. So this is not for you. Being very, very clear and upfront. If you're looking for a money strategy instead of a heart shift, if you're unwilling to release control and reorder your life under God, if you want abundance without responsibility or alignment, if you're chasing wealth to prove your worth or escape fear, if you prefer comfort over consecration, if you're hoping for results without crossing a real threshold of commitment, this is not for you. Go ahead and click off now. But if you're still with us and something deep inside is saying yes, then let me show you who this is for. This is for you if you know that God is your source, but something in your system is still out of order. You feel called to steward significant provision, but not at the cost of your peace. You're done with striving, grinding, and spiritualizing hustle. You're ready to make covenant, not just take another course. You sense this is not just about money, it's about legacy, identity, and obedience. You want to be the kind of person that God can trust with overflow. If that's you, put a yes in the chat, and notice that this is not information, this is formation. And formation happens through guided reps, consistent spaced repetition. In time, it takes time. So it's about, it's not one apple keeps the doctor away, it's an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So we're going to grow it. We're going to grow this from information to formation, to form you, to shift you differently over a full immersion 5-day journey. You don't need another sermon about money. You need a container that trains you to walk this without pressure. So introducing the Miracle Money Challenge. And so what this is, it's a 5-day challenge, the 5-day Miracle Money Challenge. It's a guided live alignment experience to exit Babylon money patterns. And when I say live, it's live. It's going to be live online, just like this, except we're going to be on Zoom. So we're going to be interacting a lot. I'm going to be able to see you on this, and you're going to be able to see me. We're going to be interacting a lot. But it's 5 days on Zoom. You're going to exit Babylon money patterns. You're going to learn the 7 laws, the miracle acronym, the 7 laws in a usable way. Instead of just, cool, I heard that, that's really cool, but how do I actually put that into action? How does that transform me and my life? We're going to walk through that. It's called a challenge because each day there's going to be a challenge. We're going to be taking steps. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then tell you what I told you, and then we're going to take an action that is you. To know and not to do is not to know, so it is you knowing by embodying. Faith without works is dead, so it's the works, it's the walk that backs up the talk. So you will be transforming over 5 days. And as you transform over 5 days, your world is going to transform over the 5 days. You will not be in the same world, realm, reality at the end of those 5 days as you started. You're going to be in a higher level of sacred stewardship. You're going to, on the inside and on the outside, you're going to be in a high level of authority. You're going to be in a higher level of alignment and integrity over these 5 days. You're going to establish God as the functional source. You're going to restore peace as your signal. You're going to become trustworthy with more. 5 days, we're going to lay the foundation correctly so provision has somewhere safe to land. We're going to prepare your containers. Like whenever the lady went to Elijah, she was about to get, her and her son were about to become slaves because they owed a debt. And Elijah said, go borrow some containers, prepare them, and we're going to fill that with oil. And so this is preparing your container, the vessel that you are, so that God can start to pour oil. And whenever God started pouring the oil in the containers, it wasn't until all the containers were full that the oil stopped flowing. So we want to prepare your container, the vessel that you are, so that the oil never has to stop flowing. It flows into you. There's a place safe for it to land. It flows into you, and then it overflows out of you so that you are investing it for generations to come. In the 5-day Miracle Money Challenge, you are going to learn the 7 laws of miracle money. You're going to apply the divine order principle to real decisions. You're going to shift from striving to stewardship. You're going to build a personal peace-led stewardship rhythm. You're going to step in your next level of sacred stewardship. So one of the goals of the challenge is to move you from whatever level you're in currently into the next one. So many of you said that you haven't even stepped in level 1 yet, but with that oath, it brings you into level 1. So honoring your oath, like walking the talk from that oath, that moves. So at the very least, everyone's coming into level 1 for absolute. You're going to be in level 1 on the inside and on the outside. But whatever level you're in, you're going to come up to the next level. And so the fruits of the first few levels, at least you're going to come up to at least the next level. So level 1, stress around money begins to subside. You move away from working for money, and thousands of dollars start showing up out of thin air. So that's one of the fruits. When you start seeing just thousands of dollars, like you're not freaking out about money anymore. That's subsiding. You're not worrying about work anymore. It's like that's starting to go away. You're just trusting God more, and all of a sudden, like, oh, there's thousands of dollars just showed up out of nowhere. That's level 1. Level 2, all of your bills are totally paid for by God. Tens of thousands of dollars start miraculously showing up out of thin air. In level 3, money does not concern you in making decisions anymore. You take bold steps. What kind of steps? Bold steps, knowing that God is going to provide, and hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars began miraculously appearing from unforeseen and unexplainable sources. Like when you're in level 3, literally, like there's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars just like pop up out of like where, how? And again, I know that sounds crazy if you're not even in level 1, or if you're in level 1. If you're in level 2, it probably doesn't sound crazy. But if you're in level 1 or you haven't even stepped in level 1 yet, you're like, really? Literally hundreds of thousands of dollars out of nowhere. I'm telling you, this is not theoretical. This is my experience over a 10-year journey. $1 million, just bam, out of nowhere. So we said there's going to be 2 revealing questions. I already asked you one of them. The second revealing question is, would you rather trade $1,000 for $10,000 or $10,000 for $100,000? Put it in the chat. Which one would you rather? If you could only pick one, either trading $1,000 for $10,000 or $10,000 for $100,000, which one would you pick? And put it in the chat. Angela said she would rather trade in $1,000 for $10,000. Debbie says $10,000 for $100,000. Dennis, $10,000 for $100,000. Colby's $1,000. So this is a revealing, very, very revealing question. There's many people that are saying $1,000 for $10,000. If you could only trade in, if you could only do one, give up $1,000 for $10,000 or $10,000 for $100,000, which one would you do? Nice. Thank you for sharing honestly which one you would do. So if I could promise you that if you paid $10,000 for the Miracle Money Challenge, it would bring you into level 3, which means there's hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of miracle money going to show up. Or you could pay $1,000 and it would bring you into level 2, which means there's going to be tens of thousands of dollars of miracle money showing up. Which one would you pick? If you got to pick how much you pay for the Miracle Money Challenge, $10,000 and it brings you to level 3 or above, or $1,000 and it brings you into level 2, what would you pay for the Miracle Money Challenge? $10,000. So put it in the chat. I've got 10,000. Most people are picking 10,000 right now. Hita says 1,000, but she sent it to me privately. Then it says 10,000. Just 10,000 easy. All right. Poor people ask, how much is it going to cost me? Wealthy people ask, how much is it going to make me? I shared 2 examples earlier. It's actually 3 examples. Whenever I went to the guy and he says, I want to sell you a piece of property. If I would have said, how much is it going to cost? Whatever the answer was, it would have been too much. If it was over $34, and it was $1,000. So how much is it going to cost me? The answer is too much. But instead, coming from an abundant, wealthy mindset, I said, how much is it going to make me? Again, the only people that God said you've done well, good and faithful servant to in the Bible are the investors. They took it and they grew it. And so the wealthy investors, they say, how much is it going to make me? And so when I knew this was a $200,000 property, and he says, I'll sell it to you for $1,000. If I say, how much is it going to cost me? $1,000, that's too much. But how much is it going to make me? Well, there's at least a $50,000 margin all day long. Easy, I'm going to make $50,000 off of it. So yes, I'm doing it. So that was the first example. The second example was right after that, I think about my friend Todd. The reason I'm thinking about my friend Todd is because he's a wealthy person, because I got to come up with $1,000, and he's a wealthy person. And so when he calls me, a wealthy person calls me, and I say, hey, I was just thinking about you. And he's like, why? Well, because I got this piece of property, and I need to borrow some money. What do you think, him being a wealthy person, what do you think immediately comes up in his mind? I'm going to borrow money from him. What do you think is he thinking? How much is it going to make me? If I loan you the money, how much is it going to make me? He knew I'm getting it for $1,000, and he knows this property, and he's like, dude, there's plenty of margin. I'm going to get mine. He's not even have to worry about how much it's going to make. He's going to make him plenty. The third example was whenever I was going to buy this village here, And the guy, which was a wealthy person, was asking $800,000 for the property. Why did I say 100,000? I said, I can't give you 800,000, I'll give you 100,000. I'll give you $1 million. Why did I say that? Because that triggered inside of him as a wealthy person, how much is it going to make me? How much is it going to make him? At least two. If he continues the conversation with me, he's making at least $200,000 more than he asked. So it's worth it to the conversation for him. Does that all make sense? So a wealthy person and a broke person come to the same exact decision point. And they make completely different decisions because the quality of your question determines the quality of your life. If you're saying how much is it going to cost me, you're probably a broke person. And the answer is going to be too much. And the reason that you say you can't is the reason that you must. It's not about a lack of resources, a lack of resourcefulness. But when you tap into the source, God, when God is your source, it doesn't matter how much the money is. If God placed the order, he's going to write the check. You're resourceful. You're full of the source. And so he's going to, you don't make your decisions based, if God says go and the bank says no, you don't listen to the bank. You say yes when God says go. So poor people waste a lot of time to save a little bit of money. They will drive all the way across town to go save 10 cents on gas. That's crazy. They don't value their time. They value money more than they value their time themselves. Does that make sense? Wealthy people will pay a lot of money just to save a little bit of time. Here's $10,000. They'll save me a day. Here's $10,000 because my day is worth more than $10,000. My life is worth more than money. So who here is ready to be an infinitely wealthy person? Put a yes in the chat. Who here is ready to remove money from the throne and remember that your value was never measured in dollars, but in identity? Put a yes in the chat. Who is ready to dethrone money once and for all and finally live like you're worth more than anything that it could ever buy? Put a big giant yes in the chat. So we said earlier, ask what is a lot of money to you? The revealing question, what is a lot of money to you? Put your number in the chat and then add a 0 to the end of it. So if you said $1,000 was a lot, and so now here it is. So there's it's $10,000. Some people said $1,000 is a lot to them because when I said, would you rather pay $10,000 for Divine Law Challenge, and it's going to bring you into level 3 where you're bringing in hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of miracle money, or you pay $1,000 and it brings you into level 2 and now you got tens of thousands. The people that put $1,000 think $1,000 is a lot. So be real. So if you're putting $1 million, that means if you had 100,000 is a lot, that means $10,000 is not a lot. So you should definitely sign up. If anybody is saying, $100,000 is not a lot of money, then $10,000 is definitely nothing for you. Then you should definitely pay $10,000 for the Divine Law Challenge or for the Miracle Money Challenge. Because I promise you, if you pay $10,000 for the Divine Law Challenge, you are going to get brought up into a higher level. You are going to tap into you will 10x that. If you believe it. Because I'm telling you, this is a container. This is a space. It is sacred ground. It is sacred soil. When you sow into it, because this is a 508c1a nonprofit organization that is submitted to the king. And all the money that you put in is going to grow the kingdom. And when you sow into the kingdom and you give into that, God says, the only time God says to test him is on that, sowing into the kingdom. And he says, I will overflow into you. So if you are truly, these people are saying $100,000 or $1 billion, then you should absolutely pay $10,000 for the Divine Law Challenge. If you're being real, if you're just saying those numbers, you're lying. If you don't pay $10,000 and you're saying $100,000 or $1 million that's not a lot of money, then you're not in integrity. Your mouth is saying one thing, but your body is saying the next thing. So if you're saying $1 million or $100 million, that's what a lot of money is, and $100,000 is not a lot of money, and you don't pay $10,000 for the Divine Law Challenge.
Okay, guys, this is Ahava. So that's our friend Jonathan down in Costa Rica. He has been on the same journey as the True Vine here in Hawaii. We are a 508c1a ministry as well. We've been doing the same thing for about 5 years. We've been building a farm out in Waianae, a collective through our little ministry, The True Vine. We are a 508c1a. I shared Jonathan's beautiful testimony this morning about his journey, same walk. And we are in Hawaii. We are buying farmland. We're in the process right now of getting a mango farm for a co-op. We meet on the west side at Alaka'i Fit. We teach living in the private. We teach changing of status, standing, and jurisdiction. I'll tell you more about, or if you go back through all my videos, like and subscribe. Maury Bay, my dearest spiritual friend and father on this planet, has for the last 15 years, went to La'ola Marymount and has been teaching me all about living in the private, standing in your own lawful capacity as a born-again, set-free, redeemed, living man standing on the land. Everybody has been seriously confused. Babylon took over everybody's estate, made you an artificially created entity versus a living man on the land. So as Jonathan has shared with you for the last 40 minutes, if you want converted, turned around, redeemed, set free, we have all the answers. If you're here in Hawaii, we meet on one-on-one privately at your church. We do private groups at your church, at home fellowships, and at my home on the west side, and also at Alaka'i Fit. So if you are interested in a group workshop for your whole family legacy building in the 508c1a, I don't charge $10,000, but it's definitely worth it because you're living for God. You're learning how to set up your divine documents, proving your status, standing, and jurisdiction. If you'd like to learn more, and perhaps maybe you've been in the wealth transfer and you've been hanging on to Iraqi dinars or Vietnamese dong or Zimbabwe notes for the last 15 years. If that's you, you definitely want to change your status, standing, and jurisdiction. So when it is time to revalue and exchange your currencies, you're putting it in the proper position, in the proper entity, all lined up properly, so you can live for Christ alone in his glorious kingdom. So again, this is Ahava. If you're in Costa Rica, please look up Jonathan England. He's awesome. We became friends. I've been on several of his workshops and just sharing what we've been doing here in Hawaii. If you're local in Hawaii, this is the place you can get the same information that Jonathan is teaching down in Costa Rica. And I also teach classes online every single day. We also have a daily noon Zoom call. You must submit your email and phone number and name to be invited to that private chat. It's called Divinely Aligned Life. And it's literally mind, body, spirit makeover from all the lies of the world to turning you right side up, redeemed, set free, with proper legal standing, status, and jurisdiction, with a clear mind, heart, no more guilt, shame, or pain. Get healed, redeemed, and set free. Call Ahava today. If you're in Hawaii, you can look up Jonathan. If you're in Costa Rica, but my group is, like I said, we're not $10,000, just so you know. But anyway, call us 808-476-0332. Peace and love, everybody. God bless you. God bless you. Heaven and all your guardian angels serve and help you find the way back home. In Yeshua's name, hallelujah. Again, the number is 808-476-0332. Mahalo, this is Ahava. Peace and love, everyone. Aloha.